Black gold is often called, but the oil which once fueled the Venezuelan economy is now poisoning its shoreline and choking life. We gained rare access to the Maracaibo Basin, one of the world's most important oil-producing centres. It's now in frightening decline. It once had hundreds of wells pumping oil to the surface. Now it's an oil graveyard. The water is horribly contaminated. The fishing boats are coated black in sticky oil. This is his sole catch of the day. We're astonished there are any fish at all in this environment.
It's incredible that they're still fishing here because 500 of these oil wells are broken down, at least 500, and are not working. But the oil is still seeping into the water. It's covered in a massive oil slick.
This is highly dangerous. It could explode at any moment. It's a gas leak, probably from a broken pipe, and the smell of it is heavy in the air. US oil sanctions will likely make all this even worse. But the Venezuelan leader put an army general with zero oil experience in charge of this. And the crumbling infrastructure has just got worse, with devastating consequences.
This is an indication of just how busted the oil industry is in Venezuela. I think this was a former platform just discarded and abandoned, and I can see dozens of other structures that are broken and abandoned around me here, and yet this country is home to the world's largest oil reserves.
The fishermen now travel to deserted wells to try to clean up their nets. Nothing will get rid of the oil apart from petrol, which has its own dangers. They come here to protect their partners and children from the overpowering smell. But they seem unaware or unfazed by the obvious dangers and the geopolitical war over their oil. An American freeze on buying the Venezuelan oil is meant to topple Nicolas Maduro. Instead, he seems to have found another buyer in the Russians. And all the while, the country's citizens suffer.
Por eso sí, porque estas son mayoría de tuberías que están podridas.
Yeah, because we have so many pipes, oil pipes that are broken.
Por eso que se ve constantemente petróleo diario.
Because we can see constantly, every day, the oil floating in the water. We're used to this. Because we have to work in these conditions every day. We're used to this.
Doesn't it make you sick? Does it make you sick? It's scratchy?
Así tener el petróleo encima.
No, a veces que una piquiña uno y broma.
Sometimes I have a skin rash.
A little skin rash. La piel se necesita uno tanto limpiarse con gasolina y broma.
Because our skin will get sore because of washing so much with the gasoline.
The oil exports to America were once the biggest source of income for the Nicolas Maduro regime, but plunged 40% in a single week. If the sanctions don't result in what the US is pushing for, an even bigger humanitarian and environmental catastrophe beckons for the Venezuelan people.
Brother, I feel my heart is breaking. You didn't see this in the past.
Eso ahí, de ahí para allá, era así.
Right here, it was clean.
Tierra, se veía.
Only sand.
Tierra.
You could see the sand.
No se veía. Se veía tierra.
You could see the sand inside the water.
Se bañaban.
Even the puppies are covered in oil stains here. The fishermen living in the basin should have been the first benefactors of the country's huge amount of black gold. Instead, the economy's halved since Nicolas Maduro came to power. The US oil sanctions will shrink it further, and Venezuela's next generation is likely to be left to clean up the mess. Alex Crawford, Sky News, in Maracaibo, Venezuela.